Pursuant to Governor Baker's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place due to the outbreak of COVID-19, this meeting of the Town of Berlin Select Board will be conducted via remote participation. The Town of Berlin will post an audio or video recording of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting on the town's webpage, the town's YouTube channel, and approved minutes will be posted to mytowngovernment.org. And welcome, the Stilemo family.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi,
Angelo, how are you?
Good.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Yes.
I'll let Peg sort of let people know what we're doing.
So, Angelo, I was reading Facebook a couple weeks ago, and your mom posted a nice little story about you. So, what were you doing in the cemetery?
I was picking up all the sticks.
You were. Were there a lot of them? Yeah.
Yes.
Do you do that often?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you want to pick up sticks, there's a ton around my house. I'm more than happy to come on. So what we wanted to do tonight was ask you and your mom and your dad to come to our meeting. And I can't do this. Is read to you a letter that,
Okay.
see, this is goodness. I'm going to go off screen. Read to you a letter that we wanted just to say thank you for what you did, because even though it was probably nothing for you to do it, it meant a lot. Oh, I can't do this. So Scott, you're going to have to read it.
You have it in front of you, Scott?
No, I don't.
I do if you want me to.
All right.
You're good,
Someone
Chris.
has
Sorry.
to do it because I'm going to
I'll let you, as you pull it up, I'll let you know. That is my favorite cemetery. I walk to that cemetery on a regular basis, and I saw the pile of sticks that were picked up.
Oh,
And I was
that's
wondering
great.
actually who actually did it, because I was very grateful.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's you, buddy.
There you are, Bubs.
There
Yep.
You did a great thing.
So, dear Angelo, recently the select board was made aware of your selfless act of clearing out the abundant number of sticks that had fallen on one of our town cemeteries. You made such a difference in the final resting place of many of our town residents. The Berlin residents who were made aware of your efforts expressed their gratitude and appreciation. Your mom, who brought your work to our attention, is very proud of you. We're also very proud of you. You exemplify the qualities of an outstanding young man. Angelo, please accept this letter and certificate of appreciation on behalf of the select board, our town administrator, and the town of Berlin. While you may never know or meet the people impacted by your citizenship, you have made a positive difference in our community. We are grateful to have you as a member and a resident of Berlin. Respectfully, the select board members, Christine Keefe, that's me,
Peg Stone.
Peg Stone,
Yep.
and Scott Hawkins, and our town administrator, Margaret Nardowicz.
Yay for you.
Yay.
Hey.
Well,
Oh, you're welcome.
So,
Mary,
Angelo,
did
this
you mail
is-
it out? Yeah, okay.
This meeting is happening on TV, Angelo. So would you like to say a few words?
tell them about it. Go ahead, Bubba. I like to pick up sticks.
All right.
Yay.
And it's very much appreciated.
Absolutely. And this is, and Angelo, this will be on YouTube as well. So once that's up there, you can do a little bragging at a family gathering. That, you know, you came before the select board and you're on TV.
You're on
You're on
TV,
TV.
bud.
There you go.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Forever and ever. This will always be out there for
We're
you.
so glad your mom and dad and you were able to come.
Absolutely. It means a lot.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys acknowledging his work.
Yep.
Does this all the time, from
Yeah.
trash to sticks to cleaning off the cemeteries and putting the flowers back when they've blown over. He's
Yeah.
very
Great
passionate about those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's very caring. So
Great.
It's
Very
things that
nice.
you
So
do that
wonderful.
make our job easier. Thank you, Angelo, and thank you, Jessica, for posting that.
Thank you,
Yes,
guys.
thanks.
Thank you guys so
Appreciate it.
much.
All right.
You're more than
Thanks.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye,
Angelo.
Angelo.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you, Limbo family.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh,
It's
all
so
right,
nice.
I have to go.
That
now.
makes for a nice start to a meeting. Oh, boy.
Yeah, sure does. And I guess moving on, we have approval of the April 5th open session meeting minutes. Do I hear any comments or questions or motions?
Looked fine by me. I move to approve.
And I second.
I only had one thing.
Uh-oh.
No, just in the people that were attending, I think you forgot Beth Christensen's last name. That was it.
Oh,
And so with that change, we'll take a vote. Keefe, aye.
Blubbering Stone, I.
Hawkins, aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. Do we have any correspondence, Margaret?
No correspondence.
Okay.
Other than,
All right. Then we'll ask the public if they have any comments.
Yeah.
Seeing none. Then we'll move on to, let's see, it's not quite 7.
We have 6 minutes, huh?
Yeah. I don't know how fast Dave is. Or,
Dave's on for 7:30. He's
Yeah,
not here
he's
yet.
not here yet.
oh,
Yep.
That's right. Never mind. So why don't we do our town administrator report, a little bit of it, maybe?
Sure. Yeah, I think I can be pretty quick. I've whittled this down to 3 pages. So a couple of highlights on COVID first, where the public health data or the community by community positivity rates and things like that were on the weekly Department of Public Health report. They've now shifted that information over to the interactive dashboard. So I show a snapshot of that. You can get all kinds of state, regional, and town level data on that dashboard. Berlin's 14-day percent positivity has decreased again, this time from 2.35% to 2.1%. Vaccines. All right, so we're still in phase 2, group 5 of the vaccine rollout. I've had great success, and I just want to pass this along for anybody who's having trouble lining up a vaccine appointment. I had great success when I signed up for the Vaccine Finder alerts. They'll email you multiple emails every day with different locations. And so I would suggest, if anybody is having problems trying to line up a vaccine appointment, try www.macovidvaccinefinder.org. Again, I had great success, and it was almost immediate. I was starting to get, they said you'd get a minimum of 10 emails a day with different locations, and it would give you a chance to sign up right away. So that was, that worked out very well for me. Those who cannot use the internet or don't have access or have trouble setting up appointments can call 211 Massachusetts Information Line or 877-211-6277 for assistance. Vaccines will roll out to everyone ages 16 and older on April 19th. So that's right around the corner. And that will be the rest of the adult group. Finally, on the safety protocols, I have been anticipating reopening town offices for regular business on or about May 3rd, which is a Monday. I'm watching the COVID trends very carefully, this because the opening would have to be subject to the positivity trends. I am not going to recommend at this point that indoor meetings of public bodies resume right away until further notice, because we do not have adequate staffing or contracted service to stay up on the rigorous disinfecting and sanitizing protocols. So as people start getting their vaccines, we can look more closely at in-person meetings, I would say. On HR benefits, the class and comp study, personnel policies and procedures, I had expected the draft policies and procedures today. Got an email early this morning from Sandy saying that she's working on them and I'd have them tomorrow. So I just acknowledged that. On finance and COVID expense reporting, the administrative finance team is going to be meeting next Thursday. One of the things that we're going to be discussing is the American Rescue Act guidelines for funding eligibility and expenditures. These are going to be significant funds that are directed to cities and towns across the country. And we want to be sure that we discuss a strategy for for savings and for reallocating those funds, so we can be very, very prudent about it. On the cemetery maintenance and groundskeeping contract, the services contract is executed through June 30th. I am looking to have a meeting between Dave and Barry or the cemetery commission to discuss the part-time staffing transition that will be effective on July 1. Grants, Community One Stop. Peg, I am sorry that we missed the boat on the paragraphs to be submitted for the expression of interest. However, that does not preclude us from going right out and applying for the grants themselves. So we'll have to just pursue the grants.
Okay.
I had a long conversation today with the consultant who the Energy Committee chose or preferred to submit a proposal on the solar consulting for the highway barn. She actually has several ideas and wants to note the various challenges related to utility interconnections in National Grid's territory. So she's going to be meeting with the Energy Committee on Thursday night. I have put the draft annual town report in your agenda folder for you to look at. I think the cover is so perfect and the reports look good too. So that's in your agenda folder to look at. And I want to thank Lori and Mary for all the work they've put into the annual town report. I think it looks really, really good. Our annual town meeting planning work group is going to be meeting on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. We're going to be discussing everything from use of the handheld devices, voting devices, to the setup of the town meeting. Fortunately, we've been through this before and it's not going to be reinventing the wheel. And then a subset, the River Bridge Development Agreement Working Group subset will be meeting on April 13th to review some more specific cost data, especially for ambulance service and infrastructure improvements that are noted in the development agreement. And those are pretty much the highlights for today.
Okay, are there any questions for Margaret?
I've got a bunch, but seeing it's 7:16, do we want to scoot and do the that, and then we can come back to the public
Sure.
hearing? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I assume Louis Cassis, is that the representative?
Do you need me to help, Mary? No? Okay.
Well, she's promoting him. I'll just say that this is a public hearing. Section 15, package store license transfer. Verk Enterprises doing business as Verk Berlin Gulf to Noria Energy Retail Incorporated doing business as Noria at 139 Coolidge Road, Berlin, Mass. And also a change of manager to Heather Iafrati. Okay. Louis?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry, my camera's not working.
Okay. That's fine. I just read the public hearing notice. And I wondered if there was anything you wanted to add.
Yes. This is transfer the license from Burke, sorry, from Burke Enterprises to Nori Energy at the same location. Can you get an echo?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to turn my, I tried to use my, let me try and turn this off, please. Is that better? No, it's not better.
That's okay.
No. That work? No. Hang on for 1 second.
Okay.
Attorney Cassis, it should work now.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
No
There you
worries.
go.
This is a transfer from Burke Enterprises to Nori Energy at 139 Coolidge Road. Burke Enterprises had 30 locations in Massachusetts and around New England. They've sold all of their interests to various entities, Noria being one of them. Noria has 100 or so gas station convenience stores around New England. They're a very experienced and capable operator. They have 3 licenses right now in Boylston, Oxford, and Springfield. And last week, they received the transfer of a license from Burke in Alston, Mass, in Alston, but the Boston section. The manager will be Heather Iorati, and I think she may be on the call. I asked her to be on the call. I don't know if she got on it or not. No, I don't see her there.
Don't
No.
see her.
She actually is the manager in the other Noria location in Berlin, and she'll be moving over to be the manager in this location. She's tip certified, has experience, has been with the company for a long time, and she should do a great job. This is a very seamless transaction. I don't think the public will even know there's been a transfer of ownership. That's from one large company to another.
Okay. Are there any questions from the board?
No, I
don't
mean,
have
I
any.
like it that Heather has experience from one store. She'll just be moving to the next. So that's
She
nice
will.
experience just to drive down the road and take care of that as well.
Okay. Are there any questions from the audience?
Was Mary trying to get our attention?
Mm.
Okay, Mary?
The only feedback is that the fire marshal asked there to be constant maintenance of emergency contact information for the manager.
Okay, I'll tell Heather to contact him to make sure she stays in contact with him.
Actually, it's going to be through the select board's office. It'll be a condition of the of what's being sent to the ABCC, the way that the certification's drafted.
Okay, just whatever she has to do, she will certainly comply with that. But I thank you and thank Mary Arata very much. She was very helpful in this process. Kind of led me along the way. Thank you very much.
Heather's here if you'd like me to promote her.
Oh,
Would you-
is Heather? You there, Heather?
Hold on, just give her a second to get in here. Okay, Heather, you can speak if you open up your microphone. There's Heather.
Hi, Heather.
Hi.
So we're sort of in the process of this public hearing and wondered if you had anything to add. Attorney Cassis has sort of set the ground for what's
Mhm.
going on
Mhm.
and introduced you as the new manager.
And like I said, I've never sold beer and wine before, but I did have the tips training in the manager certification. So, I just took the refresher course today for the store. So they keep us on top of things.
Okay,
That's
good.
good.
All right. If there's no questions from anyone, I guess I would be looking for a motion to approve the transfer of the liquor license and also the change of manager to Heather.
So moved.
And seconded.
Okay, then we'll take a vote. Keefe, aye.
Stone Eye.
Hawkins, aye.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you,
Thank you
Heather.
very much.
Thanks for
Thank
the
you.
cases.
Thanks. Enjoy your walk.
Thank you.
Be careful of ticks.
Believe me, it's my biggest fear. That's really
Wonder if I could pull that off. That'd be fun to go for a walk during one of the meetings.
We're either going to have a short meeting or you'll need one of those little lights on your head.
Yeah.
All right, we'll return to questions or comments on the town administrator report.
All right, you ready, Margaret?
Okay,
All right, do you have any updates on the chief legislation?
I don't have any this week so far. I had some last week.
Yep.
I am scheduled to call Susan Templeton by the end of this week for the latest updates on the hearings that the Senate and House committees were supposed to have this week.
Okay. When you call her, have you heard anything on the funding for the snack shack and the resurfacing of the courts?
Yeah.
Okay. Susan this week. The CO for the Bullard House, was that ever done? I know it was in process. Dave was kind of busy. Did that ever finally get done?
Yeah, it was done. It was the curatorial building as opposed to the Bullard House.
Okay.
And yes, that was done upon installation of the alarm system, the NOREL alarm system.
Okay. All right. I see that Historical's meeting on April 14th, which is Wednesday, where I'm assuming they're going to talk about the difference in quote. Can we potentially schedule them from an upcoming selectmen meeting or select board meeting? Sorry.
Yeah, I've given them a heads up that they should talk about the quotes, and then we put them on for an appointment. Yes.
Okay. All right. So Solomon Pond, obviously, they've not paid their 50,000, correct?
That's correct.
And River Bridge has also not paid their 100,000, correct?
That is correct.
And KP Law sent a letter. Not really any action from it. So what is the town's next steps to recoup that money?
So Tom McEnany of KP Law called today. I didn't have a chance to talk with him. Mary, thank you for sending me that message. I will talk with Tom McEnany about next steps. He's the one that sent the demand notices.
Okay. And last but not least, for questions for Margaret, the town office, the paving rebid, did that go out? Yes.
No, it hasn't
Okay.
been rebid yet. No.
Okay. Do we have a date?
I don't have a specific date yet. No.
Well, that's one of the articles is to move that money out, correct?
That's correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we don't
The
have, so
grant
it's not like oh my God, we need to do it by June.
No,
Okay.
no. And it was really, I mean, the grant was the real sticking point, and DHCD confirmed that they're going to extend the grant contract for a year.
Okay.
So,
All right. And that concludes Peg's questions for Margaret. For now.
Got anything?
No, Peg covered them.
oh, thanks for catching me while I was on my A game. Whew.
Well, see, it gave you a couple minutes, in the meetings. It's kind of like when June sends through all the expenses. It's like, oh, all right, what can I do now? All right.
Okay, well, we're going to move on to old business then, the annual town meeting preparation.
Town meeting preparation. Okay, so I am going to ask the board, please don't review motions yet. I do have to do some updates, but what I did to try to make things very easy, and this should only take 2 minutes before Dave's appointment, is on the warrant itself. The warrant is final. And so what I did was I created a table. I uploaded it into your subfolder just to show the final modifications or whether there were final modifications to the articles or not. So I can read those. The sunset clause extension article, Article 1, now includes the parking lot extension in addition to the fire tank or pumper truck. So they're both extended to June 30th, 2022. In the fire chief legislation article, Article 2, I have pasted, and I think this happened before your recent meetings, but I pasted the exact language from the governor's refiled bill, which differed from his initial filed bill. And legal counsel has it, or town council has advised that this can be passed over at the annual town meeting because the chief will already have attained the age of 65. On the tax collection software, town council, I've incorporated town council's recommendation to remove the reference to proprietary software. And so it's just a reads state-of-the-art software. On the FY21 CPA budget article, the summary beneath the article is expanded on to include all uses allowed in the Community Preservation Committee bylaw. So this actually expands on those 3 core CPA buckets. This expands it to recreation and and things of that nature, which are cited in the bylaw. No changes on 5 and 6. Article 7 on the capital budget. Articles 1 and 2 now have a sunset clause of I'm sorry, I wrote June 23rd, but it's June 30th, 2023. And a couple of minor edits to correct typos. The next one is Article 17. FinCom, I need to ask FinCom to revise the recommendations or correct it to read 145,410 in the amount for CPA reserves, not 146,379.90, which was the amount in FY21 budget article. That's only the FinCom recommendation. That's not the substance of the article itself. Cemetery driveways does include the 2-year sunset clause extension. Tax title revolving, town council does advise a recommendation from the select board in accordance with the statute. Energy committees, well, this town council comments on energy committee stabilization, but no changes. Article 31, zoning bylaw amendment from the planning board to limit the number of retail marijuana establishments in town. That must be rounded up to 3 because the number allowed under the statute was 2.3 something, and it must be rounded up. It can't be rounded down. So zoning, so the planning board will be taking that up as an amendment at town meeting. And then, let's see, wetlands bylaw. The chair of the Conservation Commission had a discussion with town council and changes were made pursuant to that. I've given the select board a copy of the red line version in your agenda folder so you can see the changes that were made. There is no change to notice in hearings because that language allows Concom flexibility in continuing hearings. So the hearing could be continued without approval of the applicant, the way it's worded now. And town council has confirmed that that will not conflict with statute. It just allows the Concom more flexibility in continuing the hearings. And finally, on the citizen petitions, Article 35, there was a formatting issue. I've corrected that. So that's it.
All right.
Ready for print.
Okay.
Margaret, when is that, somebody asked me in town, when is that going to be mailed?
That's going to be mailed with the annual town report, which is going to the printer tomorrow. Mary, did you happen to get a timeline from King Printing today or last week? No? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're waiting for a timeline from King Printing. I know they were able to do it quickly, but
Okay.
got to give the printer probably a couple of weeks before it's mailed.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, then we're going to have our general department update from our highway and facility superintendent, Dave Smith.
Mary, you want to promote Michael Hayes? I don't know who 018899 is, but Michael Hayes is one of our new employees.
We're just waiting for Dave.
Well, I see Dylan and Mike.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Dave.
I'm having extreme technical difficulties. Hey,
There he is.
There it is.
it took about 20 minutes for my computer to boot up.
Dave, you got to get those gerbils out there running a little bit faster and
Well,
starting.
you know, it's coming. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I'm
Very good.
tired. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm tired.
Now you
look-
have help with these two young men, so we're good.
Well, right now they're going to be, those guys will be tired. That's the plan, to make them tired. So it looks like we went through winter pretty well, somewhat unscathed. I'm thinking we're done with it, but I just saw the weather report a little while ago, and we might have a little bit of snow coming our way Thursday night. It's not going to amount to anything, but just to remind us that it still can happen this time of year. National Grid's still in town. They, I think they're done with their bucket work. They're coming back to do crane work. I'm not sure how many days they have of that. We do have a lot of work to chase around what they've dropped. I've gotten a few calls, and not really complaints, but people just wondering if we're going to come back. But we will get there. It's just we've been a little short-handed. So now that we're full staffed, we can get out there and pick up all the loose ends and the trees and tree trunks that National Grid has left behind. I have to make a few more purchases for some repair work for snow and ice before we close that account out for the end of the year. Like interviewed 4 applicants, and we did hire 2. And are both of them with us tonight, or just
Yep.
Michael?
Yep,
Both
they're
of you.
both
Oh,
here.
good.
Yep.
Okay,
Both.
well, we'll get to that. We had a couple of call-ins for some more high winds. Boy, there's been a lot of high wind events in the last few years.
Yeah.
It's crazy. A couple of times we had to come in last month for some ice on the roads. Like I said, that the picking up the logs continues. Scott asked if I would start adding some of the things we do outside of the highway, so I'm trying to do that as time goes along. And it's pretty amazing how much time we spend doing different things for different departments. But I did type up the list. We helped the Historical Commission move. Most of their stuff is moved from Linden over to the curatorial building. We moved stuff into a few things into the old fire station. We went to the transfer station a few times to help smash the dumpsters down so they can get more into them. Community garden, we do that every year. We bring them wood chips, remove the rocks that they pull out of the garden from the previous year.
Don't take those rocks, Dave. They help my plastic stay down. Don't you take those rocks.
We went to the school to help them with a pallet of ice melt they had to get out of the shed. We did 2 days of tree work with Favreau, removing some trees. We worked on Coburn, and we worked on, where else did we work? Oh, I forgot.
There's a bunch of trees down on Summer.
Yep, we went to Summer. That was it. Let's see. Stop sign. I thought we repaired the stop sign on Marlborough Road, but I went by this morning and it's not flashing, so something's happened with that again. Fred went to the Legion Hall and repaired the floor. When you walked in the door on the left side, there was a hole where you would step in and fall into the basement.
Ouch.
So we were asked to repair that, and Fred did a real nice job with that. We went to the cemetery in the center of town and moved the tree that had fallen last year. We just didn't get time to get there until now. Equipment repairs as needed. And we did a little rubbish pickup alongside Coburn. It looked like something fell out of a dumpster or a truck or something. It was a disaster. And of course, it was all blown in the thickets and the pickup bushes, so that was challenging. And finally, the electrical service is done at the library.
Oh, good.
Nice.
So
Ready for the septic project, right?
yes, we're ready for septic. So, and that's all with my report. Do you have any questions? Peg, come on, I know.
I do. And actually, Dave, you kind of like gave me a good lead in on this. You help out so many other departments and people in town. And Margaret, this is probably something, involves a little bit longer discussion, but, comes in, needs to be asked. Is there any way that as Dave is tracking his time and his team's time on helping the community garden, he's helping historical, that you could almost put it in a cost center type of business. So to say, highway put in 4 hours, at X amount of hours, I'm going to take it out of your budget and give it to him, because obviously, this is kind of, it's taking time away from his normal stuff to do other things that people ask. And Dave and his guys are great and would never say no, but there's a cost associated with that. Tired Dave, tired old guys, tired new guys, equipment, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
Is it something that we can start to think about?
We absolutely can. There are tools to cost out town services. So we could do that. It'll require a little bit of, time, recording of the time on Dave's part. But we can cost out town services, and we can start planning for that.
Okay.
I mean, one of the reasons why I asked is that, I've read these monthly reports, and then I started attending committee meetings. They're like, oh, highway is helping us with this and that. And again, a great service in town, don't want it to stop, but I want to make sure that they're getting credit for all these other things that are going on. Because when someone says, oh, look, highway only did these 2 things on their report, I'm like, well, but that's not really the story of everything that goes on in town. They are an incredible service to a lot of towns and town committees and groups. And want to just make sure that, because the start of the costing it out, even before you do that, is at least have it on these reports so we know it's happening.
Right.
And then we're in a better position to say, boy, these are great, but here's this giant pothole that got ignored for 6 months because we were doing these other things. Now, Dave, you would never do that, so I wanted that we've not had that problem. But I mean, before we get to that point, a sense of what is getting sacrificed, because I think it is great to give highway department staff sort of visibility across a lot of different places in town. They are one of the big 3 when we talk about the departments that come in on a regular basis, because a lot of people in town interact with them on a regular basis, and I'd like to see that continue.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
One other note, this will make Peg happy. The blinky sign is still in surgery, but I'm going to buy a new one. It's just getting so hard to get parts for that thing. It's an antique, and the company's in Texas, and it's very difficult to deal with them because it's sold. They don't even want to talk to you. I've reached out to the company that we rented the signs for the downtown pilot program that we did last fall. They're bringing a sign up tomorrow. I think they're going to let us borrow it until the sign that we ordered comes in. That's the feeling I got from them. So I talked with Chief Galvin, and they don't have the sign we want. They're going to build one for us that actually has the radar speed limit thing built into it. So we'll be able to use it. The police department can use it, and highway and all other departments will be able to use it as well. So
does that mean I can have the old blinky sign and play with it, and you'll finally show me how it works?
yeah, if we can get it to work.
If we can use it for public health messaging, especially for COVID messaging, we could actually, which we've done on the current one, we could actually probably apply some of our coronavirus relief funds to that. So,
yeah, I think when towards the end of the year here, when everybody's got maybe a little bit of money and tucked away, we could pull together enough money and pay for the new sign. I'm really not that concerned about it. We need it. I mean, it's in demand, and people miss it, so it's a necessary piece of equipment. So we're going to get a new one.
Hey, so do you want to tell us a little about Dylan and Michael, our new highway guys?
So we have 2 new recruits, Dylan Clemmer and Michael Hayes. Dylan, obviously the name will sound familiar to many. His father runs Wheeler's Garage, and his grandfather is Keith, who was the former highway superintendent. Very nice young man, lives right in town, knows all the streets, very familiar with the program. I think he's going to be a great fit. He's very aggressive, and he's going to learn firsthand how to run a lawnmower for extended hours. But he's a good kid. Today's both of them was their first day on the job. I think they're coming back tomorrow, so that's a plus.
They at least came to a meeting tonight, so that's a good sign.
And now we know what their faces look like. We can hunt them down.
Yeah. And Michael Hayes, he's a resident of resident of Boylston. He has military. He's a veteran. Michael, Army, correct?
Okay.
Yep.
Army. So he's also reserve. He's still active. He's actually going for training this weekend. So he does, correct me if I'm wrong, 1 weekend a month. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And 2 weeks a year. So I for one, I want to thank you for your service. Michael, also very aggressive. I think he's going to be a good fit. I don't think he's ever going to say no to anything we turn him on to. So, like I say, both of these young men are going to be.
Michael, he's going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
And it's now on recording,
Dylan.
Michael, so, yep.
So he's
Did we
still
just say something
laughing.
about the highway department being stretched too thin by going to too many different places in town? We're just volunteering them all already.
No, we
Michael, you wanna say
appreciate you
anything?
joining us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you all for being here.
Yes, thanks. Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Do you each want to say anything?
I don't know. How do you do
Yeah,
this?
You're fine.
You're
Keep
live.
going.
You're
You
there.
can hear me?
We
Yep.
can.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity, and I'll do my best not to mess anything up. And, work hard and do everything that I need to do.
Great,
Awesome.
thanks.
All right. Dylan, you have anything else to add?
I'm just excited. I'm very excited for the opportunity, and I can't wait to see what the future brings.
Yeah, you're gonna like your short commute.
Yeah.
Both
Both of them.
both of you.
Yes.
This is true.
So just
Great.
just a couple of more words about Dylan. He showed up for the interview in a Mercedes, and we told him you can't come into the yard with that car, so you better find alternate transportation.
You really did say that.
Wow. Dylan, you could always have your dad drop you off in that big old truck of his, you can just like vault off the back into the town.
I'm sure there's a
offices.
car. I'm sure a car on the back of Wheelers that could be used for.
Well, Dylan and Michael, our town team is very excited to have you,
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
welcome aboard again.
Yep. Thank
Yeah.
you. Welcome
Thank
both of
you.
you.
So much. Thanks for
Appreciate
coming.
it. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Dave. Go rest.
Bye.
Thank you.
You betcha. We'll talk to you
Have a
guys.
good night.
All right, thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, good. We finally got a full house then, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Great.
And yeah, I mean, I think highway is one of those unsung heroes. You go down and you ask them to, can you, and all of a sudden they're there.
Yep.
So, yeah, anything, and they're using their equipment. So if there's any way that we can kind of sort of charge for it, then we can kind of sort of keep all that equipment up to date and good to go, when it's needed. So,
Yeah. Although if it's charged to another department, it's just moving the money from one department to another. It's still going to come out of the
Right.
same
I
taxpayer
understand
pool.
that, but still, it's, I think it would make people plan a little bit
Yeah.
more than just hey. can you
Well, and
do
it tells the true cost of what some of those programs run, because some of their costs might be hidden in the highway budget.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. If it works, it makes sense.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, we've got a little bit of new business. Margaret, you want to talk about adding the board meeting on Tuesday, May 25th?
Yes, you've got a whole string of other things going on in May. So May 17th, unless you have a very, very short business meeting for high priority items, you've got town meeting that evening. So that would eliminate a lot of what you can do that night. The 24th is the town election, and the 31st is Memorial Day. So you need to have a meeting in between there. So I'm hoping that board members would be available for a select board meeting on Tuesday, May 25th at 7 o'clock.
Sure. We don't, do you want to schedule one on the 17th or not? So what is the Tuesday of that week?
That Tuesday
Because
is that's another night. That's another reserved night for a
it's
second.
reserved for the town meeting, but if it doesn't have town meeting, can we have it as select board?
You could do it on the 18th as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of in some respects, we have to have that blocked on our calendars now anyway.
Yeah.
And we will likely know by Saturday whether or not we're going to need, if we blow through everything but the wetlands and the citizen petitions on Saturday, then we know we're not really going to need Tuesday for a town meeting. Or
I thought we already decided that we're definitely going to use Monday for.
we're definitely going to use Monday. I'm talking about Tuesday.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Tuesday is, and everything is weather dependent too. So, but
Yep.
why not? Yeah, Tuesday, May 18th, if you, yes.
Okay.
It's already both, well,
Right.
Saturday, Monday and Tuesday are all reserved now on my
Right.
town government as meeting dates. But, and so if you want to change Tuesday to be a regular selectmen's meeting, I can bump the time to 7 and make the location Zoom and not Berlin Memorial School. But you'd
Okay.
have to make that before, 48 hours in
Mhm.
advance, Margaret. So maybe you're right. If it was being used as a rain day or something, I don't know. I guess that wouldn't be a,
Well, let's keep it as is for now, and that on that Monday before, which is the 6th or 7th, we could decide whether or not we want to do what we're thinking, because we'll see a 10-day forecast at that point,
Yeah,
which won't be 100% accurate, but give us a sense of things.
yeah,
Because we'll also have to set an agenda, because we can't just say we're suddenly meeting and not have an agenda for anybody either. So
yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
either that or we could just go ahead and schedule them and then cancel.
Yeah, you could
That
do
might,
that
that
too.
might actually be easier. And then, if we find that agenda setting or something that we don't have that much, we could just say,
Yep.
got the night off.
All right,
Okay.
so
Does that
May
sound okay
18th
to
and
you
May,
guys?
May 18th and May 25th. Was there another date that I
Yep.
missed?
Nope, that's it.
No.
Because you're
That's it.
already
Well-
scheduled for Tuesday, June 1st. So you'll have a string of Tuesday meetings.
Ah,
Okay. All right. I think we're all set with that then. So we'll move on to the town administrator annual performance appraisal. So I had, I think it was 6 department heads that gave some input on Margaret's evaluation, and the 3 board members. And I can just read the compilation that I put together. So it's with 2 members of the board that completed the scoring from 1 to 5. Margaret received an average score in planning and organization of 4.5, personnel supervision 4.5, decision-making 4, customer service 4.5, communication of information 4.5, policies and procedures compliance 4.5, financial management 5, and with that's an overall score of 4.5. And I wrote a little something trying to put it all together. Margaret has had an especially difficult year with the COVID pandemic and trying to fulfill her job responsibilities, such as balancing the budget and trying to accomplish the goals voted by the board, attending to personnel issues, and attending to the everyday operations of the town. Overall, even though we are in the midst of a pandemic, Margaret has done a great job. Her 360-degree evaluation completed by 6 department heads and 3 select board members described Margaret as extremely hardworking, organized, professional, very accessible, with very good customer service skills with residents and committees. Several individuals mentioned their concerns for Margaret needing to take vacation and/or having enough downtime. I think all agreed that hiring Margaret as our town administrator was one of the best things we have done for the town of Berlin. So, congratulations, Margaret. I think
Is it
I
the night for crying or what?
I know we're starting with crying, we're ending with crying.
Well, M1 started, now goes M2, so there you go, we're out. Mhm.
Thank
So
you.
we're very happy to have you here and I hope that you will stick around for a long time.
Yeah, and I truly appreciate the compiled evaluation, having had the 360, and it means so much to me, because this year has been more work than I could ever have imagined, and so it's taken a village. So I just appreciate everybody's involvement in trying to get us through this.
Yes.
And
And you have
remember,
done a great job too of getting us through this.
and Margaret, we're here to support you. I mean, I was talking to Chris about this, and I know when you came, everyone kind of, well, I did, I saw you as like, the light at the end of the tunnel. And said, oh, here's a mere 50 goals, just give them to Margaret. So I think, personally speaking, I need to do a better job, in looking at goals and being realistic and, looking at the priorities of what the town needs to focus on. And maybe now that COVID, I don't want to say is taking a back seat, but is calming down a little bit, we can get back to some day-to-day business, with that. But as I've said all along, I don't see you as a dumping ground. I don't want anybody to ever think you are that dumping ground. If Margaret's here, let her do it. Please reach out to us, and ask. And if it's too much, it's okay. We need you, we need your guidance. You need us, you need our guidance. So, truly, a partnership here. And please don't be afraid to say no. So, because I don't want to see you get burned out in this position, only because the past 3 years have been rather odd, probably for anybody in your role across the state. So, I know that you're off this Friday. Don't you dare answer your phone. Don't you dare answer your email. If there's a way that I could shut it off, I would.
I'll spend
To
the
do
day deep
that.
in the
So
woods.
We're going to test you. We're going to send you emails to see if you reply.
this is true.
Oh God, no, don't.
Urgent
I'll just create more
911.
stress.
And you'll be like,
No.
is this a test or do I need to answer it?
So I think Margaret doesn't have a problem saying no. She just does it really tactfully. See, I read some of her emails to me every now and then, which are I take as no, and say, boy, I just need to get better at this in my job to be able to say no this nicely. And as the person who I think met you before the rest of this team met you, as part of the hiring committee, I think it is safe to say from both that side of the table and now this side of the table that really the things we had hoped for when we recommended you for the position, I have seen fulfilled in a lot of areas. And some of the concerns that were raised earlier, I have not seen be exploited or come to fruition. So I'm really happy that you're here. And it has been a joy to work with, even though I think I've only seen you physically twice or 3 times since I've started, since I was elected. That will hopefully change in the coming year or so.
I hope so too.
I think that the town of Berlin and especially the select board are very spoiled because we got a very good town administrator as our first one.
Thank you. I'm very proud and happy and still excited about the things that we can accomplish, especially when COVID starts going away. we can move on. And in my self-eval, I did put a couple of things that should be fairly achievable objectives, just from my, on my administrative role. But I do look forward to working with the board in the coming year to develop that set of, that joint set of goals and objectives that we can all work toward. So,
yes.
So thank you all for your support.
We will put the goals on an upcoming agenda.
Okay.
I think some of those will be much easier if we also get some better software in the town as well, which is part of the town meeting agenda. If we have better tax title software integrated with the accounting software, some of your fiscal policies and procedures that you'd like to write will be easier to write.
Yeah. I started the financial trend monitoring last year and made it partway through. I'm partway through, but I had hoped to really build it. So that's definitely coming up. That's cool.
Yeah.
Together we can accomplish great things. So, Margaret, I don't view you honestly as reporting to us. I see the 4 of us, working together to do what is best for this town. So as I have said to you, if there's anything that I can do, you just need to ask. And now that it's warm weather, I have moved out of jammy pants to shorts. So now I can come down to the office in a moment's notice if you need it. Just saying.
All right. All right. Well, thank you all. It's just a pleasure working with you and for you and for the town. And I'm honored, as honored now as I was before. And boy, have I added to my memoir someday with this COVID. but thank you.
All right. Well, we're honored too.
Thank you.
And The only thing left on our agenda is board questions and comments or liaison updates. Anybody? Anybody?
Let Peg go so I can
Bueller?
read this.
Yeah, Bueller. Don't worry, I didn't have any questions last week. I made up for them this week. I'll let others go first.
I think all might have been answered, and I didn't have any meetings this week with my liaisons, so. Go
I
ahead.
didn't have meetings this week. Mine are this coming week.
Yeah. All right, Zach, you're on.
All right, so for recreation, on their behalf, was able to reach out to the Board of Health and ask about use of the snack shack and the portables down at the South Common Field. So we have a go on those. So I've asked Julie if she can put together like a schedule of events and get it up to us. I mean, I know for one on a Saturday afternoon, I wouldn't mind going down the field and just watching a bunch of little kids run around, and I can scream and hoot and holler and they won't know who I am. So that's goodness. Earthworks, Margaret, thank you for sending along the marked up combined bylaw for like-kind soil and importation. I've sent that over to Earthworks Committee, for them to take a look at.
It's a great start having had it drafted by town council, so.
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
a good start.
Yep. Conservation, they're gonna get back to me. Carolyn and John for a potential outside dates down at South Common. I know that they're also looking at having some meetings at 19 Carter compared to 19 Carter. So that would be good. Julie can book those folks. At their last meeting, they had asked if there were to be handouts that they needed to provide at the town meeting, how would we get them around to people? And I said, well, I had to bet, I'm thinking that they'd go in a bag, kind of like we did last year. So I can check in with them and see if they have any handouts and how we can get them in a bag.
I'm pretty sure we're planning bags again.
Bags?
I think
Okay.
that made it easy and tidy.
All right. So I will let Concom know that we are a go for bags. And if they have anything to be distributed, when do they need to, so do they need to put them in a bag, or are we gonna put them in a
No,
bag?
we would be filling the bags. Yeah.
Okay, and when would you need the bag fill?
It would be the week prior. So I would say we'd probably be filling bags the week of it's May 15th. So the week of the 10th, the earlier the better.
Okay, all right, I'll let them know. Turning the page. So if you all, maybe Chris, for next week, for the agenda, if we could put on it about the write-up for the item that I whizzed around late this afternoon.
Yes.
So we could take a look at that. A lot of it obviously looks familiar. I basically stole right out of Margaret's TA reports, and also gave another little shout out to Angelo and his mom. All right. Peg's question and answer session is done.
Wow, that wasn't bad.
No.
No.
Well, she answered a bunch of them, so.
Yeah.
From her TA report, so we're good.
All right. Well, seeing how we have no need for executive session, I would take a motion to adjourn. Oh, Margaret.
Just a little reminder, tomorrow night, the planning board will be holding the hearings on the zoning bylaws at 7:30. So that'll be on Zoom. So for anybody who's interested, you can attend those.
And I was thinking also, besides that, not just another thing that came to my mind. If we're going to talk about having in-person meetings at some point, could you, Peg and Scott, let Margaret and I know if you've got the vaccine or?
I'm one shot in. Second one is scheduled for
Me
the end of
too.
the month.
Yeah, me too.
I was vaccinated in January.
Oh, okay. So are
I've
you
got
all
one
done?
more.
You're done, one and done? Scott, you're good?
No, I had both of, I had one in mid-January, one the first week of
Okay.
February. So I was,
Okay.
we
And
run group
Margaret's
homes.
had
And so,
one.
yeah.
Okay. So maybe once the end of April or so, we could talk about it.
Yeah, because my household's not fully vaccinated. And so we still have some
Okay.
exposure here.
Okay. All right. Well, just trying to keep tabs on it.
Yep.
All
Yeah,
right.
we should be fully vaccinated here by early May.
Okay. Well, then maybe after town meeting, we could talk about it or discuss it.
Yeah, because even if you think about it from the standpoint of visitors, so let's
Right.
assume religiously that by April 19th, everyone is at least eligible, you
Right.
know, and so by at least middle to end of May, people should be able to have gotten both shots, even if you're in the last round. Now, you know, we could overwhelm the systems. It could be well before everyone gets it, but
Right.
we'll be in a much larger position.
Right. And I should know this, but
But
what is the limitation, Margaret, on people gathering like at the,
Indoors,
what's
in
that? Yes.
public venues, 100. But
Okay.
there are limitations on, on percent capacity. So we'd have to
Yep.
be careful. Plus, we're all going to be wearing masks. We're going to still
Right.
follow those same protocols.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
It'd be fun to see how we all sound on cable access with masks on and the microphone halfway across the room.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll just have to start talking.
Maybe we should try at one of our virtual meetings. We'll just do it.
Oh,
You know, I do have a hard time hearing some of the newscasters that are wearing masks.
It's hard
You know, it's hard
sometimes.
to understand what they're saying sometimes.
It can be muffled.
Well, maybe that's a question to reach out to Brittany on as
Yep.
well. You know, if Mr. Bradley comes back and starts to tape us whenever we can come back, what she can do to maybe enhance the sound system, maybe put another mic on the table, because I'm assuming that we're still going to have to sit 6 feet apart.
Yeah, you're gonna
So,
have to spread.
I can slide
Yeah.
to the corner. Chris is in the middle. Scott, you're probably on the other side.
Yep.
Margaret, we got to
Yep.
find a
I'm
spot
way
for
over.
you.
Yeah, way over
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I would love to find a way that even post-COVID, and we're doing things in the selectman's office, member's office, that participants can still participate via Zoom.
Yeah.
Because I think for a lot of people who have an agenda item that they're interested in, it's much easier to sort of half watch from home and Zoom and then jump in when you're supposed to jump in, watch
Mhm.
jump in than it is to try to drive down and sit and hang out.
Well, maybe we need to discuss like the logistics and should it be cable? Should it be Zoom?
Well-
Would it be both?
Is there a possibility to go downstairs into the training room where there's more, does that room having more capacity? If folks want to come, we might be able to spread out easier.
Yeah, well, that's possible. It's possible. It's certainly something I could talk with the chiefs about. And, then there's always the hearing room too, which is also a large room that you could, the board could spread out across.
Yeah.
Or can we do it at 1870 upstairs? That would probably give us our biggest bang for the buck for room. Then we could all sit on the stage together, distance, but we're all up there.
That might
Now
be
what?
another option.
I think maybe we need to put this on an agenda.
Yep.
Hey, could you see the person who makes the agenda, Chris?
What's that?
I think it's exciting to put it on the agenda.
agenda.
Because putting it on the agenda means that we're talking about getting back to some sort of more normality and seeing people in person. So
Well, and then people,
Refreshing.
maybe we'll have input from audience members too.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you have it
This
upstairs
isn't
at
on our
18,
agenda tonight.
yeah, at 1870, it's a
yeah.
much bigger room.
Mhm.
I think it's something
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about in the near future.
Okay.
And the logistics of it and what's going to work.
Good enough.
All right. Okay, then you said so moved for, and I thought I heard a second.
sure, second or moved, whichever one I wasn't.
Okay, then we'll take a vote. Keith, aye.
Stone Eye.
Hawkins, aye.